So I want to look at different beliefs that people have and different ways that people attack other people's beliefs in like God. One of the ones I noticed the other day because I was watching a video, and I don't want to get on the person for saying it. It's a new channel that I started watching, and what they were putting up wasn't wasn't bad. It was interesting content because it was a kid that had a disability that was kind of like a Down syndrome kid. It wasn't that. It was the kid that had some sort of protein that it didn't either produce or uh, digest. I don't know exactly what the problem was. I don't know exactly what the disorder was called. It's not important. But they said something like, they said, "Is that what you think God's plan was?" And I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Number one, what causes people to have such an anger to the concept of higher self or God? And now I can understand why people can have aversion to Judeo Christian faith. I do. I do. But I have a higher self. I have a concept and belief in God, but it transcends my ability to understand it. And it is a loving God. It's not a hateful God trying to punish you and fuck you over, put you in a situation where you're crippled to make fun of you. I mean, to mock someone like that and to be like, it's just the tone when people say stuff. You can tell that something's happened to them. And how can you be sensitive to someone that's had something like that happen when they're in that sort of mode? There's certain modes and mindsets that people get in that are so difficult to show love towards that it's almost impossible. See this with some of the woke because they'll start to touch you and push you, and since they're going to be the elite stormtroopers and they don't have the sense to know it, they've got a protected class, so they can basically just say that they're not safe unless the words are kissing their ass and making them a safe space, and they haven't figured out what the deal is going on. They're using them for operations as like troopers. Same thing with the Black Lives Matters people. They're using them to cause and stir chaos that benefits them. The same thing they do with like the crazy kids that are, I think a lot of those kids that do those shootings are messed up and have some sort of contact with they're like a Manchurian candidate. So how do you show or express a loving creator to someone that's like, is that what you think your God wants? Is that what you think your precious God wants? Think of the stuff that they've said. I heard them say something about, you believe in your magic daddy in the sky. I heard them saying that in one of these early, when they were having like a town hall meeting and people were saying that. There's a lot of aggression that people have towards the concept of believers. Like, and it could be weaponized to where they could just as easily start rounding up people of faith and then just executing them too. They could do stuff like that, and ultimately, I think that's part of the goal because you don't want people having a belief in God if you're trying to be tyrannical and control them. Well, first, just try to show love to people like that. But people have fucked up dispositions like that. Number one, because they don't have a good concept of God. You know, they don't have a good concept of God, and they're not they're not on the road to finding it. So they're not going to be. You have to be careful with someone like that, and it's important to try to show them. I don't know what the fuck this world is. I don't know all the fucking shit in it, but I believe that there is a God. and I believe that God's aware of what we have going on. I think that God does care. You can pray towards God, and even if that includes it being your own higher self, what's the fucking problem with that? What's the problem with that? It's not a problem. Dad believes. But there's all different types of flavors of believers. And obviously that's true. But to try to be sensitive to people that have really gotten the shitty end of this, religion has been real fucked up to people. They've done some fucked up shit. I was listening to a story of one of these cult leaders not 10 minutes ago, and it's, most people know all the signs of the cult leader. They come up with their own little rules. They always fuck every woman in the cult. Always. Unless there's one they don't like. They always beat them and attack them. A cult leader isn't a charismatic fucking spiritual person. They're a piece of shit mentally deranged person that has fucking messiah complex. You don't want to be associated with that. Not being associated with some mental fucking illness shit isn't always very easy in the world as it is, because the world's fucked up. The society is acting completely fucking mental ill. And if you can be loving to someone, if you can listen to what they say and not get fucking completely pissed off by the type of rhetoric. I don't like people talking about my God. I don't like people talking about, mocking Jesus. I don't mock Mohammed. I don't, but I have a different sort of respect for different people that are, religious figures. Do I think even that Christ actually existed? I don't know. He might have been fabricated. I do have a personal relationship with his spirit. But I don't think that that's a big deal. That the whole point, because it goes into, there's something, but we're not going to know. We're not going to know a lot of things until we're able to get our actual history. And is this realm a hell realm? It's very heavy. It's very difficult. But I don't think a hell realm has the beauty capacity that the mortal human earth has. I think there are hell realms, and I think they're completely terrifying, and I think they exist, and I think the purpose of their existence is to punish people that are really fucked up and have done real fucking dark, evil things. I don't think that they're forever. I don't think that they last forever. It doesn't make sense that hell would be forever. Unless you lose your soul. You disambiguate, or you do something really fucking bad to destroy yourself. I don't think we can go along the line of being machines. I don't think that's something we're going to be able to do and remain human and remain with a soul. But I do think that we have souls. I think that we are souls. And I think that we have to be a little more careful and considerate of each other, because that's a difficult thing to do in a world that's so hard and unforgiving. It is a hell of a lot of suffering here. It's suffering grande, fucking extreme levels. But if we just stop either respecting someone else's beliefs and we mock them, then what is the point of mocking somebody? Like somebody's car breaks down on the road, they get a flat tire, they get hit, and their baby in the back seat dies. You want to tell them, you think that's what God's plan was, to have that baby die? I mean, come on. Come on. The insensitivity level of and the ego on a statement like that is way too fucking extreme. And it's not the way that we should be as people. That's not being a good person, much less discounting, the reality of there being someone who has a faith in something non-material, You know, the problem with this world is that it's fully materialized in the mind, and people don't understand things, and they're trying to be given understanding of things that have no basis or no consideration of the non-material aspect of this world, which is a big deal. Anyway, I just wanted to open up your brain to some thinking about that. Try to be loving to people. It's not always easy, but just be especially careful and mindful of the person who is strategically harmful in their words regarding your faith, because that's not where it's at, and that does not show any type of evolution of spirit or mind at all.